All right, so year 10. This is what we call a two-dimensional kinematics problem because you've got both a positive and a negative component. The question goes, a wagon's rolling up the hill at 4.6. I'm going to line the word up, okay, as well. That'll do. Down the hill at an acceleration of 0.64 meters per second squared, and it has a final velocity of 2.3 meters per second down the hill. That's the key information. I also need to know how far is this displaced from an origin, which means I'm looking for my value d. So same process, okay? Exact same process. I write down what do I know? Okay, I know that VF is negative 2.3 meters per second, VI is 4.6, and A is negative 0.64 meters per second squared. I don't have to let up be positive. I can let down be positive. It does not matter. What does matter is that I'm consistent. So I can't have 4.6 and positive 2.3. They're applying in opposite directions, and you need to show that somehow. If you put up, well, the answer for this will be positive. If you let up be negative, the answer will be negative. All it is saying is that it is displaced a certain number of meters up the hill. But you need to define a positive direction and be consistent with that. So I want an equation with VF, VI, A and D. Can anyone give me one of those? Number one, which is VF squared equals VI squared plus 2AD. Happy with that? For E's sake, I'm going to sub my values in. Now be aware, this is a misconception, that I have to square the entire 2.3. The negative included. You can't leave the negative out the front. So don't square 2.3 and then make that negative. Put negative 2.3 squared in. Okay, it'll come out in the wash 4.6 squared plus 2 times, oh, forgot my negative sign, negative 0.64D. Happy with that? From there, I'm going to solve negative 2.3 squared, which I think is 5.29. Positive 5.29. That'll be 21 point, yep, plus negative 1.28. I've made it plus negative because I don't want you to get confused about what is going on between the negative 1.28 and the D. What operation's going on? I should write the operation in. What operation is it? When I don't write anything between the D and the number, what is that telling us? It's a multiplication. So I times both, Now I ask myself, reverse bid mass, opposite operation. What should I attack first? I want to get this value by itself. How do I do that? Yep, reverse bid mass, which means I attack.
Really took away 21.
So I subtract 21.16 from both sides.
Yeah. That's so small.
And I'm left with, what is 5.29 minus 21.16? Negative 15. Negative 15 point what? 87? Okay, so that equals, now I don't need to write the plus anymore, negative 1.28 times D. So what operation is going on between the negative 1.28 and the D? So I undo that by dividing both sides by negative 1.28. And I'm left with, I'm going to do that back over here, D equals negative 15.87 divided by negative 1.28, which is a numerical value of about, what, 13 or 14? Oh, 13 probably. Or maybe 12. 12.
124.
I think you've done it wrong. Maybe check the decimal place.
12.39.
12.39 meters up the hill. And I know that it's up the hill because my value is positive. Okay? if I had to find up to be negative, then this would be negative 12.39, which would mean 12.39 meters up the hill. Does that make sense? So as long as you're consistent with your up or down, it doesn't matter which way you define to be positive or negative. You're going to need to do two-dimensional kinematics problems. Anytime you're dealing with someone throwing an object up, that's two dimensions because you've got an initial velocity upwards and an acceleration applying downwards. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Pretty powerful.